All right. So, as she said, my name is Todd and I'm her husband. I've been part of this journey with her since 2013. So let me go ahead and see if I can get my slide to advance here. There we go. All right. So I think in was it 2013 we started using the essential oils, and so I've been on that journey from all the stuff. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, but she mentioned that I did a lot of research when we first started, and that was because or with the CBD, because at the time where I was working, like a lot of reputable employees or employers, they have a drug-free policy, and I couldn't put myself in a position to fail a drug test. So when I didn't know much about CBD, all I knew it was related to the the plant that we commonly call marijuana. I just knew that it was a similar plant and I didn't know anything about it. So in order for me to be able to use it, I had to ensure that if I had a drug test, I could pass it. And so I had to make sure that anything I used didn't violate that, because at any moment I could get a random drug test and I didn't want to go down that path. Um, so I'll be presenting the all the information tonight, and at the end Wendy will take over and do the Q&A at the end and everything. But before that, I have a few questions for everybody. So um, and you may or may not already be aware of all this, but I'm going to go ahead and run it anyway. So if there was a company that has been a pioneer, innovator, and leader in their industry for nearly 30 years, would you want to find out more about them? And if there was a company that set the standard for quality and purity, one that many have tried to copy over the years, would you be curious? If that company, this leader, this innovator with the highest standards, could help you and your family and friends with their health and wellness needs, would you like to know more about this company? And most of the time when we ask those questions, everyone says absolutely. And the answer is great. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So today you have the exciting opportunity to learn more about this company and a growing trend in the health and wellness industry. And this growing trend is a multi-billion-dollar industry of its own and is expected to continue growing in the years to come. And this industry is helping millions around the world. So first, let's begin with the company that I previously mentioned and tell you why my family's used their products for more than 10 years with incredible results. So this company is Young Living. And let me tell you a little bit about the company and kind of how we began using their awesome products. You may already be familiar with the company. Maybe you're not familiar with the story. Maybe you are, but just follow along with me if you will. So Young Living was founded in 1994 by Gary and Mary Young, with a passion for essential oils and an insatiable desire to share their incredible results he had experienced with others. So Gary set out with a goal to get Young Living essential oils into as many homes around the world as possible. Some companies prioritize profits, but Young Living prioritizes quality over profit. So one of my favorite quotes by Gary is, "I will never make a product for profit. I make it for a purpose." So, and that purpose is to help others with their health and wellness. And that's why they have such an extensive line of products. And some of them honestly just don't sell that well, but they hold on to them because they make them for the few people that need that product and see the value in that product. And so I personally grew up in a home, at least when I was younger. Things changed a little bit when we got older, but we used quite a bit of natural remedies growing up. I ate pretty healthy foods for the most part. Anyone know what carob is? Oh my gosh. So I didn't grow up with chocolate. I only had carob. And then once I discovered chocolate, it was like a new world for me. But anyways, I'm scarred by the carob. And my mom lied to me. I'm just going to say it. It's not chocolate. So I was very pleased when my wife began looking for natural options for our health and wellness. Some of those issues were related to allergies, both seasonal and year-long, as well as asthma. And so we knew that most of our OTC, or the over-the-counter products, contained harmful ingredients, or maybe they just treated a symptom and didn't really address the problem. So we wanted to address the source of our issues instead of just treating the symptoms, which is what most people do, especially here in the United States. We just treat a symptom, and and that's all we do. And so she had begun to experiment with making her own wellness products using herbs. And we saw some improvements, but we were still dealing with the same issues. And we didn't really, saw maybe some temporary relief, but, we're still dealing with it. So at that time, she began hearing more about essential oils and did some initial research. And this was probably around, I don't know, 2010. And so she tried out some products from a few different companies, and she had heard of Young Living from a friend who is Jennifer, I believe, pretty sure there, and decided to do some more research on the company. So it took her almost a full year of research. I'm not going to call her slow, just detailed and thorough. Okay. So she finally decided to start using the Young Living products that Young Living had to offer, and she dove in headfirst. And if you know Wendy, when she decides to do something, it's just gas pedal to the floor, no brakes. So that's how she jumped into Young Living. So one of the key changes was being able to find some oils that actually helped relieve some of the year-round allergies and occasional asthma. And she'd already tried lavender from other companies and saw little results. I personally couldn't stand the smell of lavender because apparently all I'd ever smelled was fake lavender. And so when we received the starter kit, we were all amazed at how real the oils smelled and saw almost immediate results. And she's completely stopped taking the OTC allergy medication. And in addition, some of our 4 children have had similar issues and have seen similar results. I'm fortunate that any issues I have in that area are very minimal and easily controlled, but that's not for everyone in the household. Everyone's a little different there. So along these lines, our Nature's Ultra CBD has become a wonderful addition to our home arsenal in supporting our family's health and wellness. So I've used CBD products for the most out of everyone in the house. I probably use them the most. I know Wendy recently has started using more, but I found they're great in supporting muscles, soreness, and just a lot of different other areas. So my favorite product is the muscle rub, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little bit later. But I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I was amazed by it, and so along our Young Living journey, we had the privilege to share products with other people and kind of help them with their health and wellness journey, and then also help them share with others. And so that covers the cost of pretty much our monthly orders, if not more. And so helping others has helped us help ourselves in that regard. So now that I've introduced you into Young Living, let's dive into the topic for tonight, which is CBD. And so you may be asking, like I was a few years ago, what's the difference in CBD and marijuana? Why is CBD important? What's the big deal, right? So it's not just a fad, it's becoming a real staple in various communities around the world. And today you'll get to see why exactly that is. And so don't let all the scientific explanations that I'm going to give you overwhelm you. And there's a lot of big words, and I may get a little tongue twisted, so please don't judge me too harshly on those. And I'm not going to pretend like I understand completely every single thing in here, because it's very scientific and I am not a scientist. So if you seem a little like I don't even know what he's talking about, you're not alone. So I had to read a book in order to understand it. So we want you to feel empowered in your knowledge of CBD and how you can utilize it for your own health goals. Keep in mind that I'm not a doctor, as I mentioned, not a scientist, and I'm not prescribing or advising in any professional capacity. I'm seeking to share the knowledge that I have gained through research that you can also find. So I strongly encourage you to continue to read and research for yourself. And there are some good books out there, and we may be able to give you some of those in the chat at the end, so that you know a good source, a resource to look up to learn more. So before we begin the actual presentation, I want to talk to you about the muscle rub right quick. So for me, I had shoulder surgery in 2016, and we didn't have the muscle rub at that time. I used something that was really great. The Cool Azul pain cream worked pretty good. A lot of residual issues I've had over the years with that. And so when the muscle rub came out, I tried it and I was amazed, because the Cool Azul is all I used after my surgery, because I didn't want to use the prescription medication they gave me. And so that worked really well for the surgery, but afterwards it didn't work quite the same, because I had some other issues. And the CBD worked amazing. I felt almost instant relief. And that's something I hadn't been able to find even with, um, using some over the counter medicine and other things. It just didn't, nothing really worked until I tried this product. So that's why I'm such a big believer in it, not just because of all the science, but because it actually works, and it's actually worked for me personally. So, a few housekeeping things before we go get into the meat here is, if you have a pen and a paper, go ahead and pull that out so you can take some notes. Also, you can write down questions, and you can also put questions in the chat if you want. And then at the end, we'll address that if that's easier for you. And I know Wendy's going to be helping monitor the chat. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. So first and foremost, what is CBD? So CBD is not marijuana, okay? A lot of people out there still think it's marijuana. It's not marijuana. So they're both from the same plant, which is the cannabis or the hemp plant. They're different varieties. So marijuana is produced when the hemp plant is grown without the male variety present. So it's only the female plants. And so the resin that is produced from the little small hair-like appendages called trichomes of the female plant, it's full of THC. And I'm not saying that you just put a whole bunch of women in a room and everyone's going to get angry. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay. But no, but anyways, that when with the plant, that's kind of what happens is it just, that's all it produces, THC. And which that has the psychoactive effects associated with marijuana, which is what you get, which is mainly why it's illegal. And so CBD or cannabidiol is it's a natural substance from another variety of hemp, and there's several varieties of hemp. When I was doing the research, I had to learn about different marijuana plants, and there's tons of different varieties of marijuana plants that they grow just specifically for marijuana that give different effects and different potencies and stuff. And so hemp has several varieties. So the variety of hemp that's grown that you get CBD from is a specific type of hemp, and it's produced when the hemp plant is grown with both the female and the male plants. And so the resin produced there on those little appendages on the trichomes is full of CBD, not THC. So it doesn't contain the same heavy psychoactive effects as THC, and has only tiny amounts of THC even in its raw form. Okay. So the history of CBD. So why was CBD illegal, right? I mean, is it bad? So CBD, it's a natural substance from the hemp plant, like I said, and it originated in Asia, Middle East area thousands of years ago. They've been using it. They found, I believe, found traces of it in some of the tombs in Egypt. And so it's been around worldwide, right? And so it showed up in the United States back in the 16th century. So just, a bit ago, right? So in fact, the farmers used to be fined if the certain percentage of their production wasn't hemp, because the plant was incredibly useful. So it can be used for paper, food, fiber, construction materials, clothes, and other products. And, so what changed, right? Well, in the 1920s, a negative media war was waged on hemp, and at that, mostly marijuana. It was aimed mostly at marijuana due to financial, i.e. corrupt reasons. And it was eventually deemed a Schedule 1 controlled substance. So this category for substances, they have no benefit and have high potential for abuse. So think like cocaine, and that's a Schedule 1. So, however, in 2018, CBD was downgraded from a Schedule 1 controlled substance to a Schedule 5. So it's still in the controlled substance category, but just a Schedule 5, meaning it has some benefits, but and the potential is low for abuse, right? So they changed the category so that they changed to that category so that a drug containing CBD called Epidiolex could be sold. So it's a little funny how when a drug company wants something to be legal, they just get the law changed. So that is our government. So unfortunately. Finally, in December 2018, CBD went from a Schedule 5 controlled substance to an unscheduled substance due to the Hemp Farming Act of 2018. And so there they removed hemp as a controlled substance. And the hemp is defined as cannabis with less than 0.3% THC. So that's 99.7% TH free. Okay. So this means a federal law made CBD legal in all 50 states. Now, some states were slow and still are, and they have their own regulations. So it's important to know what the regulations are in your state. And also, I'm not sure where it is now, but if you're in the military or know some in the military, there may still be strict regulations. So for sure, do your research before you use the product, just to make sure. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a video. This video is a few years old, and this is from the founder of Nature's Ultra, and kind of his story on what happened when he created the Nature's Ultra. This is a few minutes long, and then we'll jump right back in.
Hey everybody, my name is Richard. I'm the president and CEO of Nature's Ultra, and today we're going to be talking more about the beginning of Nature's Ultra. For me, finding a high quality CBD product was incredibly important. When I went out to the market to look for a specific CBD product that I would be interested in, there just wasn't really anything out there, okay? And I would buy these products and I would get them and I'd be like, I don't know how many CBD's in this. I don't even know what farm it came from. I don't know what extraction method they use. I don't know anything about this product other than that I have it and I paid X dollars for it. And for me, it then turned into, well, if I'm not interested in this, how can I be comfortable allowing my wife, my children, my friends, my family use these products? You need to have not only a CBD product that you could trust and you know the quality sourcing of, but also a CBD brand and company that knew the importance of this for the greater good of CBD. I think it's incredibly important that CBD companies alike all align with creating these standards because there aren't any out there. So for us, it was just a simple matter of fact of, hey, if we're gonna have a CBD product, we need to be divulging these details no differently than somebody else as to where the product came from, how much CBD is in the product, and is it safe? I think a lot of that really transpired into why I began with Nature's Ultra. And for me, it was a product I wanted to be certain that I could give to my friends and family and it wouldn't make them sick and it wasn't fake CBD. It was a high quality sourced product with traceability. So you could go all the way back to the moment that product had been born in essence and then see it come to life in a real product and start using it. For Nature's Ultra, it's really important that we educate everyone out there, whether you're buying our product or not. It's really important you understand what CBD is and what things you should be looking out for. So education for us is absolutely top of mind. Things like THC, is it THC free? Is it 0.3 THC? Where's the lab certificate proving that? When a company tells you it's USDA certified, there's no certification for that. So we look for things like, are they using organic farming practices? What are they doing to improve that side of it? So for us, it's all a stigma of making sure CBD really stays as pure as it possibly can. To me, that's the goal, is making sure that no matter if it's at the farm, if it's being bottled, or it's being shipped to your door, that whole process has got to be very clear to you as the customer so that you know what you're taking is a good, high quality product. When I started Nature's Ultra, I was having family dinner with my in-laws, and my father-in-law was asking about what's been going on and what's new, and I pulled out a bottle of my CBD oil and I said, this is what's new. And he looks at it and goes, oh, what's that? I said, this is CBD oil. What does that do? I explained how it can help you from a personal and wellness perspective. And he kind of shrugged it off. Well, a couple more weeks had gone by, and at this point, he works in the medical industry. And at this point, a few other companies had come into him and said, hey, have you tried our CBD oil? And he's like, wait, what? CBD oil? What's going on? And then more and more CBD oil started coming on the market. And that's when he started getting really interested, was like, oh, wait a second, what is this? And he started talking to me a little bit more about it, and I started explaining, oh yeah, well, we lab test and certify everything. And he goes, why do you do that? Well, we want to make sure the product you're taking is what you're taking and it doesn't contain anything that would hurt you. And he's like, well, that's a really good idea. So he started asking some of these other companies if they had those available, and they did it. So it really turned into like more of a matter of fact of like, oh, well, this is a good product. And this is why it's a good product. And this is what CBD is. And this is how I can use it. And this is how it can help me. And it literally became a full circle thing now. And he actually uses it to this day, every single day. When I first started Nature's Ultra, a lot of people said, hey, Richard, why are you wasting all your time trying to get this testing or the bottles or this or that right? And my answer was simple. It was a promise to my customers that the product they're buying from me is the quality I'm saying. So for the USDA and the FDA, we want them to come bring regulation more than ever, because that'll establish our future together long term. This has never been a cash grab. This is never, let's throw something in a bottle and make a bunch of money and then leave. We are here for the long haul. CBD is the future, and we couldn't believe in that any more than we do now. So we're very excited for regulation to come into the space, and we're in it for the long haul. Thanks so much for watching this CBD 101 episode. As always, please sure to comment below. Love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any other questions, feel free to jump over to naturesultra.com and check out our blog. And we're looking forward to see you next time.
All right. Okay, hope you enjoyed that video. So I just want to also say, when that video came out, Young Living and Nature's Ultra were in the process of merging, or Young Living was in the process of acquiring Nature's Ultra. So that's why it says founder and owner and all that. So it's actually part of Young Living now. There were some legal things they had to go through with government regulatory stuff to get it acquired, and that happened a few years ago. So like I said, when these videos I'm showing were released, they still weren't officially under the Young Living umbrella. It was like Nature's Ultra by Young Living, but it wasn't the same company. So anyways, okay, so next we're going to talk about the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS or EC system. So this next few slides, this next section, there's going to be a lot of science words, and hopefully it's not too dry, and hopefully I don't muddle through it too much, but there's a lot of big words here and a lot of scientific stuff. Hope, if you have questions about any of this, definitely write those down and put them in the chat, and maybe I can answer them for you. So the endocannabinoid system is a biological system composed of endocannabinoids. So they're endogenous lipid-based retrograde neurotransmitters that bind to cannabinoid receptors, CB1 and CB2, and cannabinoid receptor proteins that are expressed throughout the vertebrate central nervous system, which includes the brain, and peripheral nervous system. So a lot of big words there. If you didn't understand it, I don't completely either. So in layman's terms, the ECS is linked to your central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system to help the body maintain homeostasis. So in a general sense, homeostasis refers to stability or balance in a system. So it's the body's attempt to maintain a constant internal environment. So maintaining a stable internal environment requires constant monitoring and adjustments as conditions change. So if the body gets out of homeostasis, the ECS sends out natural endocannabinoids and enzymes to regulate the body and bring it back into homeostasis. So for example, when you get hot, your ECS kicks into gear and you start to sweat to bring your body temperature down. If you get too cold, you shiver. When you get hungry, your stomach growls, and when you get tired, you yawn. So that's how that would be your body's way of regulating and trying to stay in homeostasis. So CBD primarily interacts with the ECS, making it a highly sought after product. So take a second and think about your body's homeostasis. So do you feel like your body tells you what it needs, and also does it adjust accordingly? And I think that's probably where most of us have our issues, is our bodies are trying to tell us what it needs, but it's not able to adjust accordingly, or we're not giving it what it needs to adjust accordingly. So let's talk about THC versus CBD. So now that you know what the ECS does, let's take a look at the difference between THC and CBD in regards to the cannabinoid receptors, CB1 and CB2. So CB1 receptors are in the central nervous system, which is a brain and nerves in your spinal cord. CB2 receptors are found all over the body in the peripheral nervous system, so it would be nerves in your extremities, and the digestive system, and specialized cells in the immune system. So this is how THC interacts. So what it does is it acts on the CB1 and CB2, so both receptors. And then when they attach to the CB1 in the brain, it causes intoxicating effects that are experienced with hashish, cannabis, and marijuana. It also affects the peripheral nervous system when it attaches to CB2. So this is why when some people smoke marijuana to feel calmer or for decreased pain, it's also why some cancer patients receive chemotherapy and are prescribed medical marijuana, because the effects on the digestive system help prevent nausea. So it's important to note that exposure to THC does have its risks, right? So such as developing schizophrenia. There's also, you could fail a drug test, and depending on your state's laws or local laws, you could participation in illegal activity. And then also some people are genetically rather, more sensitive to THC as well. So some people just right away they feel the effects and they're just gone, and other people it takes a little bit more time. It's like alcohol. Some people a little alcohol and they're drunk, and some people they can just drink a lot. It's very similar in the way it acts that way. So so for CBD now, it does not bind directly to either of those receptors, but instead what it does is it impacts them indirectly by modifying the receptor's ability to bind to cannabinoids. So these indirect actions include activating another receptor called the TRPV1, which is an integral part of the endocannabinoid system. So it's kind of like do you want to treat the symptom or do you want to treat the problem type of thing. CBD actually changes the receptor's ability to bind with cannabinoids, whereas THC affects the actual receptor itself, and it doesn't change the receptor. So it kind of attacks the source of it a little bit. So if you want a CBD isolate, which we'll talk about a little bit more about what that is in a little bit, Nature's Ultra is the Young Living is one heck of a product, and I definitely recommend it for some reasons that I'm going to cover here in a little bit. So terpenes. What are terpenes, right? If you've been around essential oils for a while, you may have heard terpenes are. You may have even been told what terpenes are. Unless you're into science, you may not know, or you've heard it and you still don't understand. And that's probably most people out there. So why are terpenes such a big deal, right? So terpenes give their plants their aroma. So the fragrant imprint of each plant is a result of different combination of terpenes. That's really what they are. And so cannabis is unique in that each strain of cannabis has a unique profile of terpenes. I mentioned earlier there's different types of cannabis, and so each plant has a different profile of terpenes. So terpenes are believed to have many positive effects on the body, and these properties can act independently as well as in addition to what cannabinoids offer. So there are several known and studied terpenes that all exhibit different medical or medicinal effects. So overall, terpenes contribute to the medicinal properties of cannabis. And as I mentioned, they work with the cannabinoids, and that's a phenomenon known as the entourage effect. So think of a team of players versus one single player. So the team is the entourage effect of terpenes plus the cannabinoids. So now, where else have we heard of terpenes, right? I just said essential oils. So essential oils have terpenes. They're loaded with terpenes. I mean, they're just like power packed. That's basically the essence of what an essential oil is terpenes. And so they have a multitude of positive effects. And so if you use Young Living essential oils, you know the effects that they can have. So how to choose your CBD. I mentioned how to choose your CBD. I mentioned a minute ago about isolate. Okay, so there's a bit of chaos in the CBD world. Maybe it's cleared up a little bit, but it's still kind of out there. There are many to choose from. There's different people say we have full spectrum, we have broad spectrum, we have isolate, we have this, we have that. So what does all that mean? I'm going to go over a little bit of that with you. I mean, local gas stations have CBD now. I mean, it seems like there's some CBD thing popping up on every corner. There's like a gas station and a CBD on every corner, just seemingly. And I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. And then my question is, where do you get your CBD from? Because I don't know. Anyways, so knowing your source is huge, huge. Know your source. And so let's learn a little bit about the difference between full spectrum isolate and smart spectrum CBD. So full spectrum CBD is it still has some trace of THC in it. It's just basically pure THC taken from the plant, and that's what you get. So you won't get the psychogenic effects of straight THC. And there's still a possibility of exposure to THC. It's very small, like we talked about, 0.3%. And it's important to note that hemp is a phytoremediator by nature that absorbs chemicals and toxins from the soil. So phytoremediation is nature's way of using living plants to clean the soil and groundwater. So if you ever had like a fish aquarium and you put one of those little sucker fishes on there to clean all the slime off that's what basically hemp is for the plant world. Okay. So traces of heavy metals absorbed from the soil may be left behind in full spectrum product. So really knowing your source is important, because it's now that it soaks up everything out of that soil. So if you were in a field that had all sorts of harsh chemicals sprayed on it and heavy metals and other things that are done in the farming practice, and then you throw hemp on there, and then you go ahead and harvest that hemp has all those chemicals and it soaks it up. It just pulls it right out of the soil. So I've heard stories of marijuana growers where they would add lead to their soil intentionally so that their product weighed more when they harvested it, so that they could get a greater yield because they sell it by the weight. So it's crazy. So definitely knowing your source is huge, and that's why I trust Young Living. So a lot of people gravitate towards the full spectrum CD, even because it still contains the terpenes and many more compounds. It has that powerful entourage effect. So the other way to produce CBD is in its isolated form. So CBD isolate is pure CBD. So while it has zero THC and no heavy metals or other compounds, that's all been stripped out of it. Also, the terpenes have been stripped out of it. And so therefore you lose that entourage effect. So how do you fix that, right? How do you fix that problem? Well, you take CBD and it's really great, but then it possibly has all these other things in it. You take all those other things out, and you take some of the great things out with it. How do you fix that? So remember, we talked about essential oils having terpenes in them. So we can add the CBD, add them back to CBD however we want to create the synergistic effect and thereby increase the benefits of the CBD isolate. So Nature's Ultra, they've done that. So they've combined organic CBD isolate, and I say organic. There's no organic certification on it or anything, but they use organic farming practices, and then they use terpenes to create an amazing smart spectrum CBD just for you. So everything that the oils that they've added into these CBD, the CBD oil, is for a specific purpose. So when I'm going to go over these products in a few minutes, if you know anything about the oils and what they do, just think of what those oils do for you in their form, and then add that to the CBD. That's the purpose of that oil being in that product. Okay, so hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully everyone's still awake, and I'm not boring anyone too much. So, and if you're falling asleep, that's fine. I will not be offended. Hopefully no one's falling asleep. So, why did it? That's weird. Okay. Something just happened to my screen. I don't know what just happened. Hold on a second. It's sharing the wrong. I didn't. I just clicked the advance. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to do something real quick. Hold on. All right. Boom. There we go. Hey, I don't know what happened. I pushed the advanced slide button and it kicked me out. It did that to me earlier. So, okay. Sorry about that. I think we're back where we're supposed to be. Yep. Okay. All right. So this slide, this next video is going to be another video And this one's going to talk about what I just talked about with the terpenes and some of the other things, but it's just going to be from the perspective of Young Living and Nature's Ultra. This will be just a few minutes here.
Hi, this is Tanner with Nature's Ultra. Today we're going to be talking about the synergy of CBD and essential oils and why they make the perfect pair. Let's start by going over the different types of CBD. First, there's full spectrum CBD, which is extracted from the cannabis plant with all of the plant's other compounds, including THC. Next, there's broad spectrum CBD, which is extracted with all the plant's compounds except for THC, though many broad spectrum products contain it in small amounts. Then there's CBD isolate, which is exactly what it sounds like, CBD that is isolated from all other compounds in the plant. At Nature's Ultra, we use CBD isolate because it's the most pure form of CBD. That gives us the confidence of knowing that there are no unknown compounds in it. It's simply pure CBD, straight from our partner farm in Colorado. Using a CBD isolate is a great way to ensure that our CBD is pure and potent, but it also means that you could miss out on potential benefits of terpenes. Fortunately, high quality, safe, and effective terpenes can be added back using essential oils. That's why at Nature's Ultra, we craft our own smart spectrum CBD products by taking high quality CBD oil and combining it with Young Living essential oils. That means that you can enjoy the benefits of both. Many people are already familiar with essential oils, but let's do a quick refresher. Essential oils are natural oils that are distilled from plants including trees, roots, leaves, seeds, fruits, and flowers. Part of what makes essential oils great is a group of natural compounds called terpenes. Terpenes are naturally occurring hydrocarbons that are the most common source of aromas and flavors in essential oils. In fact, if a plant has a distinct smell or flavor, it's probably because it has terpene. Essential oils and CBD make great partners because they complement each other so well. The terpenes in the essential oils have their own unique benefits, such as offering an energizing aroma, helping to soothe tired muscles, and promoting a good night's sleep. By combining essential oils and CBD, we go beyond the benefits of CBD and essential oils on their own to create something truly special. And best of all, by adding terpenes from Young Living essential oils to our CBD products, we are able to provide a premium product with no unknown ingredients. We know that every single component of our product has been carefully vetted to ensure it's of the best possible quality. There's no other CBD oil like it in the world. Thanks for joining us on this episode of CBD 101. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss another episode. See you next time.
Alrighty. Okay. So I know that kind of went over a little bit what I had talked about, but it's always good to hear it from the source. So, okay. So next we're going to talk about CBD usage and safety. So, and then after that, we'll get into some of the, all the products, all the Nature's Ultra products. So CBD is labeled for topical use. That's what the FDA says we can say. So, and maybe the USDA and maybe the FTC, I'm not sure, but they say we can say it's for topical use. If you want to talk to whomever invited you to this call about one-on-one, that might be a good idea. So, or Jennifer or Wendy one-on-one about CBD, that might be a good idea for you. I just can't say it in the class. So, so first, clean the area and pat the area dry. So second, you want to vigorously massage a generous amount topically onto your skin. So don't exacerbate the area, but give it a firm rub and apply a second or third time if needed. So suggested places to apply are going to be temples, neck, elbows, knees, and other joints, wrists, soles of your feet, back of your heel, foot, and shoulders, especially for the muscle rub. If you're new or sensitive in nature, start with the regular strength for sure. There's two strengths. There's a regular and an extra strength. Start with the regular. You can even use half the recommended amount just to make sure that how your body reacts. And then you can increase it as you read your body and notice how you're feeling. I've known people, excuse me, that take half the recommended dosage and it works great. And I know some people they need the extra strength because everyone's a little bit different. So once you're a little more experienced, you may want to try the extra strength products if you know, you're finding that the regular strength isn't quite doing it for you. The other option is to double up on the regular strength that's literally doing the same thing. So it just takes more of the same product. So if you're going to use the extra strength, it's a better deal to go ahead and buy it that way instead of using more of the regular strength. So while this product is to be used topically, I want to give you I want you to keep a few things in mind in regards to CBD. So CBD is broken down in the liver. And so it's done by the same enzymes that a lot of your pharmaceutical drugs are broken down by. And that includes OTC medications, over the counter or prescription. So therefore, it's possible for your system to get a little overworked by trying to break down too many things at once. So we suggest you consult your physician when implementing a CBD product, especially if you're taking a lot of pharmaceutical products, just to make sure that you don't overwork your system. So let's go ahead and talk about the different types of CBD available through Young Living and a few other things about that. So next, we're going to start with our Calm roll-on. So this was one of the first ones that was rolled out. I believe it was in the first launch. If not, it was the second. They kind of did it in waves because the availability wasn't that great. And so they launched it in a couple of waves at a time, and then they brought on 2 more products after the initial, probably the first 6 months to a year. Then they brought on another couple products that are really good as well. So the Calm roll-on from Nature's Ultra, it creates a peaceful environment. It helps relax and quiet your mind. It's perfect when you're dealing with stress of the day or trying to wind down for the night. It can give you a soothing, restful night of sleep. It can help with that. It's infused with eucalyptus, frankincense, lavender, orange, vetiver, and ylang ylang Young Living essential oils. When I first heard what was in it, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I was like, no thanks, I'll stay away. But after I smelled it, it actually smells better than I thought it would. So I'm not a big ylang ylang fan, but it actually smells pretty good. So it's available in 2 strengths. You have your 300 milligrams and your 600 milligrams. So you could call that crazy day or really crazy day, depending on, you know. And so it contains, like all the other CBD products, the Nature's Ultra CBD products, it's 0.0% THC. So that's absolutely no THC because it comes from that isolate with the terpenes added back in. So there's absolutely no THC in this. A friend of mine a few years ago, when we were just trying this out, he's a former police officer. He was in the Air Force. He wanted to see if that was true. And so he took whichever one he used, whichever CBD, it was probably the muscle rub, for I think 30 days, and then took a drug test. And it came up absolutely 100% clean, not even a trace. So I trust them when they say it's 0.0% THC. So it also contains a array of Young Living oils, like we mentioned, and those ingredients, they combine to create a peaceful environment. So it has a calming and soothing aroma, creates peaceful atmosphere for a restful night's sleep, may support a worry-free outlook, hopefully. And I think we could probably all use a little more worry-free outlook. And the product size is a 10 milliliter roll-on. And so some suggested uses for that is it can be used multiple times a day for one. You can apply generously to your chest and neck as desired, wrists, anywhere that has good blood flow would be good, or where you can breathe it in. Used before bedtime to create a calming, restful environment. Used during prayer, meditation, yoga, and then apply to your skin care routine during your skincare routine to support youthful looking complexion. I have to say personally, and this is how everyone's a little different, I've tried CBD at night and it doesn't go so well. I have some weird dreams. Like, it's supposed to like calm my mind and relax me, but it like sends my dream, whatever controls that, into like weird world. I don't know, but I don't know. So I don't do CBD at night because that does not help me calm down. So that's where you need to try it yourself and see how your body reacts to that. So anyways, all right, my personal favorite, the CBD joint and muscle balm. This is my favorite out of all of these. And I've tried them all. They're all great. This is my favorite though. So it combines CBD with menthol and a selection of Young Living oils, such as a camphor, clove, lemon, peppermint, tea tree, wintergreen, and more. Those are just the main listed ones. So the result is a powerful balm that offers a cooling sensation that you'll love. So whether you're relaxing after a workout or settling down after a long day, you'll love the way that it cools your tired muscles after exercising or physical activity. So you definitely want to apply that to clean skin and massage well. You can use this as a, kind of if you have like ever used like massage oil or some of the other creams that are designed for muscles, you just massage that in as deep as you want on your muscles, and it'll go in. It'll feel like it's going through your muscles. It's really good. So it can be used multiple times a day. You can use it like even if you're getting a massage or having someone massage you, you can actually use it there. That'd be really good after strenuous activity, or you can use it as part of your pre or post workout routine. Those are always good. So like I mentioned before about how it helped my shoulder, and it helps my back and other things. There's certain things it doesn't help with, and I found that out when I was dealing with an Achilles injury. Didn't have the same results with the Achilles that I had with the shoulder, because it was a different part of my body that was affected. It wasn't muscular. It was a tendon, and it just didn't have that same effect. And then, like I said, it's not, there's no cure all. Nothing's a one size fits all. Take this, I've heard people talk about like essential oils. They call them like well, what did they call those things back in the day? Back in the old days, Winnie, what did they call those things? No, the ones when the people would try to sell stuff, magic oil or like the miracle tonic stuff. I can't, snake oil. There you go. Snake oil. Yeah. They've called essential oils like snake oil and this and that, because some people go around saying, hey, just take this. It'll cure all your problems. Blah, blah. That's not true. It doesn't work. Everybody's body's a little different. And one person they may put it on and go, hey, I've never had the problem since. And someone else might try it and it doesn't have the same results. And that's because everyone's body chemistry is a little bit different and everything works a little different for everyone. So anyways, off my rant here. So these are available in two strengths. You have your 300 milligram and your 600 milligram. And so, I don't know if y'all get massages regularly or go to the chiropractor regularly, but I would definitely recommend all of that in combination with the muscle rub, because I think both of those can help with like all of the above kind of stuff. So the muscle rub's awesome. So the next one, we have the Cool Mint CBD. So this one's cool. This has peppermint and spearmint in it. And so with these dropper bottles here, you got 4 different types in dropper bottles. You have, which is just, it's CBD oil, whereas the others were, I guess the Calm is a CBD oil. It's just in a roller bottle. So you got the different options in the droppers here. You have the Cool Mint, Citrus, Cinnamon, and Beauty Boost, and I'll go over each of those. So they got the dropper bottle. They come in 500 milligrams and 1,000 milligrams, and then the Beauty Boost, I believe, is just one. I don't remember what that one is. I'll get to that one in a second, though. So the Cool Mint, it contains peppermint and spearmint. It's really good. It's got a nice smell to it. It has a cool, refreshing aroma. It contains the terpenes, like we talked about. Here's the terpenes in it. You got alpha pinene, beta pinene, eucalyptol. Imagine, probably that's eucalyptus, huh? Limonene, menthol, and saponine. So it kind of gives you a cooling sensation, and it's a 1 ounce or 30 milliliter dropper bottle. And it can be used multiple times a day. So you just want to apply a full dropper bottle to the desired area. Make sure you shake well before you use it. You can massage it into your scalp for an invigorating experience. I haven't tried that. It might be a different experience there. You combine it with a foot massage, apply it to the bottoms of your feet, temples, neck. If you ever use the peppermint or spearmint, or in combination, because there's like kind of a peppermint's cooling, spearmint's warming, so that kind of dual action there. Breathe it in for aroma for your senses. So that's really good. The next one, you have your citrus CBD. So it has grapefruit and orange, which sounds kind of weird until you smell them together and like, oh, that's really good. So it's kind of a sweet, uplifting aroma, and it helps you feel bright and reinvigorated. It includes the terpenes alpha pinene, beta mycrene, beta myrcene, limonene, and saponine. And I hope I'm saying those right. And it can be used multiple times a day as well. I'm just going to say that for all these can be used multiple times per day. Now we're going to stop saying that. And so just apply it wherever you want. And you can, make a soothing massage too. It's a little more gentle than the mint one. And out of the dropper bottles, this one here is my favorite, the cinnamon. It contains cinnamon bark oil, and it is warm, it's uplifting. This time of year right now with the holidays, cinnamon's that great smell. That's got it. It's really good. Rich, spicy aroma. It soothes occasional tension. Cinnamon's really good for that. It contains the terpenes alpha pinene, alpha phelidrine, wow, caryophyllene, and linalool. So it's also in a 30 milliliter. Be great for massage, necks, shoulders, temples, combined with your feet. Foot massage would be really good. So those were the first three that they came out with, the dropper bottles. Then the next one I'm going to go over is one of the newer products. I say newer, it's probably been like 2 years or something. This is the Beauty Boost. And a lot of the Young Living products are designed for women, understandably so, because they're probably like 90% of the demographic for users. But I actually use this one and I like it, even though it smells like rose. It's kind of weird, but so it contains a combination of your purest potent CBD, tamanu oil, grapeseed oil, and rose essential oil for a luxurious experience. So each dropper actually contains one full damask rose. I'd never heard of the damask rose or damask rose before, but it contains a full one in each bottle. So it's calming, soothing, moisturizing formula. It can be combined with Young Living beauty products to take your skincare routine to the next level. It's very thick. It's like a serum. It goes on. It's really good. I use it under my eyes. I need to use it more. Had some allergic reaction to something and my eyes swelled up, and now I'm recovering from that. So that was weird. I don't know what happened there. So it helps reduce the appearance of redness, fine lines, and wrinkles. It helps calm and soothe the skin, moisturizes skin, boosts skin's natural glow. It's ideal for all types of skin, and it meets the Young Living Cetaceal standards. So where do you apply it? All those things I just mentioned: reduce appearance of redness, fine lines, wrinkles, can calm and moisturize skin, calm and soothe the skin. Wherever you want that, that's where you put it. I would say probably hands, face, neck. Those are probably the more common areas to put it. Okay, and then one last product. And this, I believe, is, wow, I keep doing that. This is the newest one, the Soothe Roller. This is, it's not only for breathing easy, but it can also calm your muscles. So it combines CBD with Eucalyptus radiata, Eucalyptus blue, Eucalyptus stageriana, and Eucalyptus globulus, peppermint, and copaiba. So a lot of eucalyptus, peppermint, and copaiba. And copaiba doesn't have much of a smell, but it's great. I know Wendy uses it. She's used it both for breathing and for like post-workout stuff after she works out in the morning. So it's got that blend of all those oils and everything. It's just really good. You can apply it to your head, neck, chest, under the nose, so you can breathe and all that. And it's just really good. A great product. The only problem with this product is it doesn't last long. Other than that, it's great. So, and I say it doesn't last long because we use a lot of it. So, in fact, that's the problem with all these products is we use so much that we go through them very quickly. So if there's a negative, it's we use too much. So anyways, so if we had some questions before about how much is actually in the each one. So with anything that's 500 milligrams, I don't have the 300 milligram one in here, but like the 500 milligram dropper bottles, you get about 16.66 milligrams of CBD per dropper. And for the 1,000 milligram, which is the extra strength, you get about 33.33 milligrams of CBD for dropper bottle if you cared. So anyways, all right, I got one last video for you. And this is going to go through the farm. So.
Hi everybody, my name is Richard. I'm the president and CEO of Nature's Ultra. We're here at our hemp farm today. We're going to talk more about our seeds, plants, soil, everything start to finish, give you a little sneak preview of what's behind the scenes. Farm in Colorado. We chose Colorado for our farm because Colorado has such a high elevation. There are no pesticides required. And that also ensures that your product doesn't have any pesticides. And we also chose Colorado because they are leading the way when it comes to regulation. We want to make sure that we're partnering with states that are committed to growing this industry, and Colorado is definitely at the top of that list. One of my favorite things about Colorado is our entire hemp farm is naturally grown in the sunlight. We want to be a part of the ecosystem, so that's another reason we don't use any pesticides. There are, bees and other bugs around here that actually don't harm the plant at all, and they just live here. So it's really important to us, whether it's sunlight, the well water, the soil, everything's got to be dialed in to meet our requirements.
You guys were lucky today.
Seed genetics are so important because you get a lot of farmers that could easily just, oh, I'm gonna go buy these seeds, I'm gonna plant them in my ground, end of story, grow the crop, I'm done. They're not engineering or innovating the space, and therefore their crop yield could technically go down each year. So your farm's not doing as successful. And the other real tell for that is the flat plainness of the crop. So if your crop has a consistency now, you're seeing that all of the plants are growing properly. The soil, the water, everything dialed in, and you're getting that consistent grow, but that does start at the seed. Each season we develop and have genetics of our seeds, and we do this to increase the yield of each of our harvests. And so every year we actually have a greater yield out of our plants. And this all is done intentionally because we want a higher quality yield, a higher quality product. We use organic farming practices, and we do that on purpose because the USDA has not come into the space and said that this crop can be certified organic. We're in essence complying with everything that would be required by the USDA to make our crop as organic as possible. So when they do release that certification, it's available to us immediately. And part of that for us is rotating the crop. So we'll actually put a different crop on the field in between the two harvest seasons. And that way the crop is able to pull out some of that toxins and other stuff in the dirt. It helps purify the dirt before the next rotation of hemp plants are born. There are several wells all throughout our farm here. And these wells are really important because you want to know the source of your water because the quality of that water will dictate the quality of your plant. This is obviously something that the plants are getting on a consistent basis. If that water source is not up to the quality standards, your plant will not meet the quality standards. So all of our well water is tested and certified before we use it. After the harvest is done, the soil is still have some treatments left. And what we do is actually go back through the field and mulch the leftover stalks and any leftover hemp plant and mulch it back into the dirt. And this helps the soil get all the nutrients naturally from what's either grown and other plants that are still in there and mixes all back up, and then you're left with a nice clean field. Everything that is in this is recycled back into the, and again, all plays back to quality. We don't go through all these efforts for no reason. We want to make sure that the moment it's planted and the seed is in the ground, that it's got the best opportunity to be the fullest plant possible. Hey everybody, thanks so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. We hope you got a really good chance to see everything from seeds to soil to water. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please do share with us in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.
All right. I think it's cool. It's kind of funny. We were a few years ago, Wendy and I were in Colorado, and if you ever been there, there's a sand dunes there, and it's like in southern Colorado, almost New Mexico. I guess maybe not quite that far down, but it's in southern Colorado. And we were driving, and we're driving through, and I'm like, because we knew the Nature's Ultra farm is there, and all of a sudden we came across all these hemp fields, and I don't know what they're going, because it's marijuana's legal up there, so I have no idea. But we're driving through, and so we're like, I wonder if that's the Nature's Ultra farm. I wonder. So anyways, it was kind of funny. Don't think we found it, but we tried to look it up and see if we could find an address, but there was nothing on there, because I'm sure they keep that stuff pretty private, for obvious reason. Don't want people knowing where your marijuana or your hemp farm is, rather. Most people can't distinguish between the two. So anyway, sorry. So what's so great about Nature's Ultra CBD? So, it's organic and non-GMO for one. Like I said, it's not, like he said too, it's not certified, but they use organic farming practices. You have your Seed to Seal certification through Young Living, and you have your high quality, pure, safe, and legal 0% THC. We talked about that. It's also vegan approved and gluten-free. There's no animal byproducts used, plus a commitment to never perform any animal testing. So those are all great things about Young Living, that they do. And then they've carried this over to their Nature's Ultra. So like I said, we've used Young Living for 10 plus years, and we're continually surprised and amazed by their purity, effectiveness, and their integrity. They've had many opportunities where they could have deviated from that and had just cause to not take the high road, but they let their integrity standards speak for them, and not do some things that other people probably would have done. So these are available in, you can order them singles, or they also have a starter bundle, which I'm going to go over here. Some information may have changed. I know recently they made some changes. You'll see here there's an extra strength, and they call them PSK, premium starter kits. I believe it's starter bundle now, not a kit. But the extra strength is not available currently. Only the regular strength is. But it comes with the Calm CBD roll-on. It also and then these are all in the regular strength, obviously. So a Calm CBD roll-on, a muscle rub, a citrus, and then you have your getting started brochure and all those types of things. So that's a great one. The price is $175 wholesale for that, which is incredible, because I know the price for sure of the pain rub and then the others, and it's I know the information I have is a little outdated, but I know that it is at least $100 more if you were to buy the three individually. So it's just a great deal. Like all their bundles, like the starter bundles are just such a great deal that, I mean, in fact, when they first came out with this, only new members could get the CBD kit because it was such a good deal, and their supply was so limited, and that lasted for, I think, 6 months or something. So you couldn't, the old timers were a little upset, but whatever. We eventually got them. So loyalty rewards, if you're new to Young Living, or you're not currently using Young Living products, loyalty rewards is such a great thing. If you don't know about it, you get you can earn points to use for future orders and loyalty gifts, freebies starting at 100 PV orders, access to discounted bundles, and all sorts of other things. So if you're currently using Young Living products, and you you're not on loyalty rewards, I would highly encourage you to get on loyalty rewards. It's a great deal. We get a lot of free products from them. Because of that, because we regular orders we earn, we're at both Wendy and I are at the 25% back. So for every $100 we spend, we get $25 basically of loyalty rewards. So it doesn't take too long before you can actually cash those in for something pretty decent. So, and let me go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the December promos. If you're currently, well, it doesn't matter. You can, if you're not currently using Young Living, you can, today's the day. You can always start. Hold on, let me see if I can make the screen bigger so I don't have to look to the side. Okay, so like I mentioned with the 100 PV order, you get free things. So with your loyalty order, you get a Thieves Essential Oil Blend, 15 mil. Now, if you've priced that lately, that's $17 value. So that's huge. Seems like Thieves is more than $17 for 15 mil though. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. That doesn't seem. Yeah, I thought that was, it's like 30 some dollars. That 1711, I don't know why that retail value is 1711. That must be a graphic. We did not do this graphic. Okay, someone else did it. Oh, that's right. That's like for the 5 mil, I think. Unless it's supposed to be a 5 mil, but it looks like a 15 in the picture. Anyways, sorry. So for the 190 PV, if you do 190 PV order, you get the longevity. And then if you do it on loyalty, you get Thieves and Cedarwood. 250, get the Copaiba, longevity. And if you do it on loyalty, you get Thieves and Cedarwood. You go up to 300. You see the more you order, the more you get, right? And the higher the retail values. And if they did it based off of 1711 for the Thieves, you need to add about 20 bucks to that. So you get frankincense, which that alone is like $100, close to it. Copaiba, longevity, and then Thieves and Cedarwood. I think maybe that 221's right. But anyways, you spend $300, you get basically product free that's worth $221. Plus, if you do it on loyalty rewards, you would get like 70, you get between 50 and 75 loyalty reward points on that order. So, I mean, it's just such a great deal. Loyalty rewards plus the promos that they run every month. They do such a great job of taking care of the people that use their product and that love their product. So anyways, let's see what's next. All right. So I have one question for everyone here, and then Wendy's going to take over, talk about some upcoming classes, and then go ahead and moderate the Q&A. So where do you see yourself with Young Living? So are you a 1, I just want to use products? Are you a 2, I want to earn enough money to get my products paid for? Are you a 3, I want to make $300 to $500 a month? A 4, I want to make $3,000 to $5,000 a month? Or a 5, I want to make $10,000 plus income per month? And yes, that is possible. It takes some work, but it's possible. So that's the question I have for you. Are you a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 5? You don't have to answer that. You can put it in the chat if you want. It's up to you. It's just a question I want to ask you. So anyway, so let me go ahead. I'm going to go to the next slide there. And I think, Wendy, do you want me to still share the screen, or you want to take over? Or I guess we'll leave this up so they can see the classes, and then tell you what, I'll Wendy, if you just want to chime in here on that.
Yeah, I can just share real quick. So here are some of our, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have our Wellness Wednesday classes coming up. The next 2 classes we have coming up is the Oils of the Bible, or Oils of Ancient Scripture, that I am doing next week. And then the week after that will be our Kids Sense class, talking about the kids line of products. And Jennifer will be teaching that one on December 27th. So one of the things for those of you that are working towards the Core 5 promotion of showing up for all 5 of the Core 5 classes, one things we decided to do was to give you the option that the Oils of the Bible can actually count as your 5th class, or the Kids Sense class. But what I will tell you, I mentioned this last week, is the Kids Sense class is good for everybody to do. And just because they're labeled as kids oils, that does not mean you as an adult cannot use it. We use many of the kids line of products all the time because it works really, really well for you. So, oh yeah, and Kid Power comes in the new set too. It is amazing.
I don't
It's
know if y'all
amazing.
can see me here, but this was not just staged behind me. I use this one in the diffuser a lot. This one is great. It's kid power. I don't care. It's for kids. I'm not a kid, but maybe at heart I am. But
You can
great.
stop. You can stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
I
All right.
can't stop it. So
All right. Yeah.
there you
Kid
go.
power. Great. There we go. Kid sense, kid power. Great one. Really good. One of my favorites, actually. So makes me feel like a kid.
So yeah, so those are the next two to finish out 2023, and then we will continue into January. We already have the dates set up on this same link here that y'all are accessing this, and we will be posting what that series is going to look like, what we're going to be going into January. For those of you that are on Jennifer's team, we are doing that promotion, so make sure you fill out the form that we've shared in the group and stuff like that. But I encourage you to go to both of the next classes and or at least watch the recording if you can't be live and get all of the information that you can because they are such a good thing. And if you've never attended an Oils of the Bible class, it is also a great one to get new people to come and listen because we often come across people who don't really understand what the oils are about and kind of can have some fears or some misunderstandings of what is that weird stuff that you're using and how does it work? That's one of the things we go over a lot of the history and where it comes from and how biblically they were there in biblical times. It's not anything new, and how we can apply that to our lives today. So, anyways, put it on your calendar. I know we're getting into the holiday time, but still try to plug in if you can live. It's always more fun to have everybody here live. And so, yeah, and then let's see, we had,
The Oils of Scripture class is really good.
yeah,
It's much better in person, but it learning about the history of the oils and how they were used in the Bible times. Whether, I'll say whether you're a Christian or not, it doesn't matter because it has a lot of historical significance of how they used the Bible in those days, regardless of what you believe. So it literally is for everyone. But yeah, it's a great class.
so yes, and for those that are local, we may end up doing an in-person component, but we're still working on that one. We'll see. So I saw that we had a few questions. Todd, I don't know if you saw them, if you want to try to
Yes. Yeah.
address those real quick or between the two of us we
The
can.
first one, I think the first one I see here, let me see. Yeah, it was the first one. Leslie's asking if the CBD effect to help it last longer, could I use carrier oil on top of it or one of the essential oils that could go on top like peppermint or myrrh? Um, so the oils that come in the dropper, you don't really need a carrier oil because they have oil in them. The CBD oil, the purpose of the carrier oil is to keep the essential oil from basically evaporating because they're so volatile. And so if you have the carrier oil, which the CBD oil in that case acts as a carrier oil. Now you can always add other oils to it. There's no rule against adding extra oils to that. So like if you wanted more peppermint or more spearmint or added something, want to add orange to your cinnamon, which would smell really good if you've ever smelled orange and cinnamon together. There's no rule that says you can't add whatever oils you want. Like frankincense would be a great oil or myrrh because those have such great properties anyways. Adding those to CBD oil is just going to make them that much better. I'm sure the reason they don't have frankincense or myrrh in their CBD oil is because CBD oil is already expensive enough as it is. If you add frankincense, the cost is going to just skyrocket because frankincense is the cost of that is insane. And I think this is still the case, but Young Living basically used to sell frankincense at basically at cost or actually would subsidize it just so they could sell it because they didn't want to charge so much that people couldn't buy it. That's one of the things about Young Living that it always impressed me is they'll take a loss on profit to make sure people get what they need. And that to me it's very hard to find a company that truly cares for the people who are using their products. It's very difficult to find. And once you find one, you just want to stick with them. So let me see. Okay, the next one from Deborah. If you could only get one of the CBD products starting out, which one would be the one to start with? So it depends on what you need. I'm going to say the muscle rub because that's my biggest issue, right? If that's not your biggest issue, and maybe you are there's some words I can't use here, but let's say you need the calm roller for calmness reasons, right? You need to calm down, and maybe there's a lot of things going on in your life, and you need that. Then that would be the one to get. If you have maybe some respiratory challenges or some other soreness challenges, the Soothe would be good. Maybe you don't like the way your skin looks as much as you used to, so maybe you go with the Beauty Boost. And then the 3 regular dropper bottles. Really, it's kind of, server's choice of that. What's your favorite flavor? Or I'm sorry, I can't say flavor on the class. What's your favorite smell? Get with someone one-on-one. We'll talk about the uses of CBD privately. But which one do you like best? Or I picked cinnamon because of the properties that cinnamon has, because I had been around essential oils long enough to know what the properties cinnamon has and what it does for your body. So our first dropper that we got was cinnamon. So it really is going to depend on what you need, and that's where you'd want to evaluate what your needs are and then go for that. I'm going to stick with the muscle rub because I think you talk to anyone out there, they could use the muscle rub. I don't think there's anyone on the planet that couldn't use a muscle rub. Maybe save some little kid or something other than that. So, Wendy, you want to tackle this next one from Cricket? This is not my area of expertise. Plus, there's some compliance things there that you need to make sure you say correctly or could get in trouble.
Okay, so on this one, I was actually just looking this up real quick because we can do a little bit more research on this question, Cricket. I've heard of some people seeing some results using some of the CBD regularly to help with some of those symptoms. What I was looking up said it's like there's not a lot of documentation to show that. So it's one of those things that each body might react a little differently. So you may find some help using it for that purpose, or you may not. So that would be something that if you were going to do it, you would use, the dropper form of it. And yeah, we can talk about how you would take it for that. But because there's a few other ways to use those that we use them. Yeah, like Todd said, we can talk about that off video. But although I'm sure you've seen people using it the other ways all around, even though technically you're not supposed to. So anyway, so it's one of those things we can do a little more research to see. It's not a first primary use, but it definitely could potentially help. We know that it can help calm and balance your system, right? So it's definitely something that might help. And yes, the cooling sensation, if you'd like were to choose the peppermint, is something that could be helpful. But also just, using the peppermint oils is super helpful. Accidentally putting whole bottle of peppermint into your Solite Magic is a whole new thing. So I did that. I didn't get to share that with y'all yet. But anyways, there you go. Cooling, very cooling.
Is that why we ran out of peppermint?
Well, we still have peppermint, but I did accidentally do that. So green bottles, they're green peppermint and cypress. So mine has cypress and peppermint in it. So anyways, that's a whole nother class. But peppermint is cooling. So the peppermint one would be helpful for the cooling side of that, at least with your question about, kind of having the warming that happens with hormones at times. So yeah. Let's see. I know that's not a super good answer, but we'll do some more research on that one, Cricket, to see what else we can find out. There's a lot of other things I can share with you. That is something probably in January. It'll be January, February. I'm planning to do a hormones class. So we will be talking more about what other things that is coming up. We were decided to wait till we got to the new year to start focusing on that one, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's see. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. Becky's going to be a 5. Yay. And Leslie's working on a 2. Um, I'll check on Leslie for the promotion thing. I'll verify that with Jennifer. Would the rub help with joint inflammation aches? Yeah, I would say for most people that would be helpful. Todd can address that a bit.
Yes, in fact, that is probably one of the biggest benefits you're going to get from that, would be your joints, depending on what the issue is. Like I said, for me, and I got to be careful what I say here, but when it was a tendon issue, it didn't work as well. And so, but nothing worked for that. Literally nothing I tried worked. So, except for surgery. Unfortunately. But like when you're talking in let's just say joint issues, if they're simple joint issues, non-injury related, right? If you've had an injury, you need to go to the doctor and have the doctor look at it and make sure there's no serious damage there. But if it's just chronic type of joint issues, I would definitely give it a try. There's no guarantee, but I would definitely give it a try and see it's worked as well or better than anything I've ever tried, including the Cool Azul, which I use as well. I use Cool Azul and the Cool Azul pain cream and the CBD joint and muscle rub for any issues I have with muscles and joints. So yes, to answer your question with that one. Age degenerative. Depending on what the issue is there, there's an A word that comes sometimes with joints as you age, and that it might not give you all the relief you want, but I would definitely give it a try. It wouldn't hurt to try, and if it doesn't work for that, it'll work for your muscles. It'll work for everything. So you sit on the computer, your arms and neck get sore. If you go work in the yard, your back gets sore. Those types of things. That's really what it's going to work for. But I definitely would recommend giving it a shot for sure, instead of going and buying something off the counter that has a whole bunch of garbage in it that is bad for you. It may give you some temporary relief, but the long-term effects of that product are going to harm your body. Versus this, it's not going to harm your body. So.
Awesome. Anybody else have questions before we wrap up? Let's see. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up for tonight? Thank you all for hanging in here and sharing with us. Okay, Leslie?
Not a question, just a statement. Boy, is it a great thing growing up in your house. Having mom and dad on the oil line. Oh, your kids are so fortunate.
Yeah, our kids actually, ours are all adult age now, but yes,
well.
they all have their own accounts. But when we started, they weren't. They were all, my oldest was just over 18 when we started.
And plus I know sort of your mindset. Kind of goes along with those biblical oils. I guess, just saying. And wow, what a combination.
Yeah. It makes a huge difference. Yes, we've been blessed to have the opportunity to share, and we didn't get to start our kids as young as some of my friends have been able to, but they are definitely also users. They all have their own accounts actually and get all the things. And yeah.
It's funny the way you just said that. They're all users. And we're talking about joints.
Yeah.
And THC.
Yeah.
Don't take things out of context.
No, yes, that is very true.
I just found that humorous.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they use essential oils.
Yeah, there you go.
And Young Living products, supplements, and all those fun things. Yeah, and also thank you, Leslie. Becky on, talking about, I know you've started working on using some other products and supplements and those types of things. So there's some other things in addition to, the CBD products that can potentially help some of those joint challenges that you're dealing with to some degree. And I know you're already working on some of those, so that's good. Okay, any other questions? If not, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're running a little behind than we normally do, but I know this was, I think that everybody's comments were that you were enjoying this information. I do want to do our last drawing that I'll have on here, which is for commenting. Thank you all for taking the time to comment and ask questions. And I'm going to go to our little spin our wheel thing here. And we are going to spin our wheel. Well, I'm going to give somebody else a chance to win because Deborah won again. That's funny. Okay, there we go. Cricket, you will get to have a chance to try out the CBD rub. Yay! Okay, so Cricket will be our second winner. And then I'll make sure to let Jennifer know. She'll get that to you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you all so much for being here and joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you on here next week. Did I undo that? Okay, so weird. Anyways, thank you all for being here. We look forward to seeing you here next week, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.